Joining me now is Ross McElroy, President and CEO of Fission Uranium. Good to see you again.
Great to see you, Mark.
We did this a while ago, and we want to get a refresher from you for our viewers who may not be that familiar with the story, but you call the RRR project globally elite, and because you've got such robust economics. So can you update us?
Sure, yeah. About a month ago, we put out our feasibility study, and I think it was a win in every single category we looked at. We outlined a much larger mine life, for one thing, than we had back in the pre-feasibility days. So we're now looking at a 10-year mine life, and I think that the potential is to expand that probably 30 or 40% just with resources that we can still bring into the resource down the road. But I think what it really demonstrated was that RRR will be a low cash cost operator and one of the lowest cost cash cost operators out there, and that really gives us a huge advantage over most other projects. That's because it's a large, high grade, near surface deposit. It's not complicated mining. It's straightforward, and in a province that can do it. So yeah, it worked out on every level.
And you said the low capex estimates. It's a huge win, especially in this inflationary environment. So going forward, what are the keys to making sure it's a low cash cost project?
I think executing on the plan that we've outlined in the feasibility study, being able to procure equipment, and which will, things that have a long lead time, we'll make sure that we're on it. But I think to me, the feasibility study was so done quite stringently. I think it's going to cover everything. All the I'm just comfortable where the numbers are there, that I think we'll be able to execute. We have the team in place now that can continue to build this mine out, and it's experienced, right? The deposit and the economics speak for themselves, but it's really all about the group that's going to be moving this project forward, and we have the best in class in that group. So I think that's how we achieve success on this project.
Now, Ross, I don't have to tell you that uranium projects have long timelines, and so you've got a lot going on this year. You're applying for the environmental impact assessment in Q3. You've projected construction, you hope, in 26, production late 28, early 29. But during that time, is it a challenge to keep investors interested and engaged, or would you say because uranium is doing so well right now, people are quite engaged?
I would absolutely agree with your latter point there. The sector is strong, and it gets stronger all the time. Almost every other week, we're seeing a new positive story in there. But I think that we're in the long term. I think we're the very, very early innings of a long uranium bull that's going to be measured in decades. It's really a whole paradigm shift, I think, in energy generation, in clean energy. Nuclear just has such an important part there. So there is that story, but I think as we move forward on the project level, seeing that we're successfully moving through the permitting and environmental reviews on it, they see the support from the local people. Those are all newsworthy events, and so there'll be plenty of news that way. But I also feel that 2023 will probably be a year that we'll start doing some exploration on the project as well. So it might be in the latter half of this year. But we have got a number of high priority exploration targets at PLS, and we staked some new ground further to the north too. So we have exploration upside, we have resource growth potential on the deposit itself, and of course, the moving it all the way through the permitting regime. So I think all newsworthy. It's going to be busy for us. We won't be won't be quiet out there. We're going to be very active.
Great. Now, you've been busy educating yourself on ESG. You know a lot about it. You're going to continue to do that, as any good CEO will. But you've also added a person to your team that's very interesting, Beatriz Orantia. She is an expert in sustainability and ESG. So what's the significance of bringing her on board?
Well, I mean, yeah, she is so qualified. She's ESG and sustainability are her passion, right? She's taking advanced courses in Harvard on exactly this. She brings a great deal of board experience with her, but just a passion for the ESG and the sustainability. I mean, it's where every corporation has to go and needs to go and will go as we move forward. It's such an important core part of the business. I just listened to a lot of talks in the last few days by major mining companies, BHP, Glencore, Vail. ESG is part of every presentation that they do. They understand the importance of it, what it means to shareholders. We need to fully embrace the ESG component as well, and I think having Beatrice on there, I think gives us a great deal of guidance and a real leg up in that area.
Great to catch up, Ross.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure.
Okay, we'll see you again. Ross McElroy, President and CEO of Fission Uranium.